Hello and welcome to our message of hope for 2021 from our parish team here at Resurrection and St Anthony's, and to you and to all those who are dear to you. This weekend will also mark the 20th anniversary of September the 11th, when our world was changed forever by the presence of terror, and how frightening that has been for us. So again, let us hold Afghanistan in our prayer. And now the world is being terrorised by COVID, and for us here in Australia for the last 18 months, particularly us here in Victoria and in Melbourne. Today is the 8th of September, Mary's birthday, where we have so much to celebrate in the gift that Mary is, our source of life, our source of witness, and a great gift to us of faith, who continue to trust in God's promise of ever being faithful. COVID has taught us all about lockdown, especially for us here locally. We have been restricted from meeting and being with our families and friends, and that's been really difficult for so many of us. Grandparents not seeing grandchildren, sons and daughters being separated by distance, etc., etc., it goes on. And particularly then when one of our loved ones becomes ill, we're unable to be present to them, and even at the point of death. We've been unable to gather with our faith community as we would love to do on a regular basis. School, university and workplace has been intermittent during time. Yes, it's on, yes, it's off, or it's home, and that has had many challenges. And of course, a connection to your faith community, the community that brings you immense life and joy. We've also been spending more time in our own home, which has taught us somehow that, gosh, our home is small, isn't it? We're also finding those we've loved and lived and shared life, that being full-time together can also have its challenges. And so it hasn't been easy for anyone. So let's hope we are through the worst of this COVID era in history and for now. 2020 was COVID, death, infection and much fear. In 2021, a year later, it's infectious, more infectious, and fear, and further restrictions, and also a crankiness, I think. But sadly, we're seeing death slowly creeping back into our statistics, loss of innocent people like ourselves. But then there's a debate about vaccinations, etc., and we need to be reminded the evil here is COVID, not the vaccinations to most of us. So, in this COVID time, we all find ourselves to be wounded. We bear the wound of COVID itself that has caused us immense grief and heartache. I've noticed in myself and others a sense of frustration. I've been and made annoyed very easily, and I'm reacting to situations and people. Some might even say I'm a little bit more crankier than usual, so watch out. It might have something to do with the Swans losing last week and the umpires not helping us at all. What's changed? But in moving forward, let us make choices that are about life, about healing and about hope and about peace. May we stay connected to those who are dear to us, those that we've missed. Maybe ring them or email them or whatever we need to do to stay connected. May we choose to eat healthy, and may we drink sensibly if we need to drink. May we also be aware of the beautiful sunshine, our need for exercise and the love of the garden. But maybe be aware of some of the dark things that might be creeping in, that might be becoming bad habits, things that are excessive of drink, of computers or whatever it might be. Let's be aware of that too and make choices again of perhaps restraining from that. But in faith, let us turn to those who are dear to us, to St Anthony, to Mary, the mother of Jesus. Or let's go directly to the source, Jesus himself. And we learn from all of them and many others that they never ever lost sight of God's faithfulness, of God's trust and God's love. And that's what's asked of us in this time of COVID, to keep trusting and believing. Emmanuel, God is with us, always has been and always will be. So let us hold our world in prayer for all who are vulnerable through COVID or through terrorism or through natural disaster. We hold you in prayer. Let's count our blessing that we being here in Australia in the lucky country are truly blessed. But let's honour that blessing by making choices to be a blessing to others. May we look forward and never lose hope that this church will one day be filled again, your church and mine, Resurrection St Anthony, and our community and our staff look forward to the day when you are back here with us, filling the pews, filling our church in prayer and in song, in love and in laughter. Yes, our churches are beautiful, but they are more beautiful with your presence. May you be back here soon, and may you find a warm and loving welcome from all of us. Till then, let's go gently, let's go trusting, and do what we need to do. Keep ourselves healthy and clean and vaccinated if we can, and let us continue in faithfulness to call upon God's love, mercy and kindness. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, it's Brenda from the Parish Centre here. I've been trying to record this message of hope about 7 times, so I hope this time it works. I know many of you are hurting at the moment because you can't attend Mass and you can't connect with your community. It's a really difficult time. I also know how strong the communities of Resurrection and St Anthony's are, and I want you all to feel held and supported through our messages, and also to know that you are in our prayers. People with hope survive longer, I think. Hope's a really powerful medicine, and there's things we can do to strengthen our hope and to strengthen our resilience and our happiness. I'm going to share some of mine. I'm sure you're sitting there with bated breath waiting to hear my message and how to increase your hope. I find that to make yourself happier can be really, really hard, but also really joyful. Often I look at things that make me laugh, and I like to watch comedies. Certainly, I try at this particular stage to avoid the news. So sometimes just find something that makes you laugh. And there's plenty of things that you can find to make you laugh, whether they're old TV shows or bloopers of TV shows that you love, or a favourite comedian that you like to watch, just to try and make yourself a little bit happier. Also, I love to sing, and singing out loud is a really great way of making yourself happy. You make yourself laugh too. Grab a hairbrush and pretend it's your microphone like you used to do when you were a kid, and find some really happy, bouncy dancing songs, or belt out a really big ballad to try and make yourself happy. Maybe the neighbours will think you've finally gone off, but still, who cares if you're happy? We found through a group of friends that we have FaceTimed each other and shown each other photos of when we were younger, and that has made us laugh and given us a lot of joy too. So little tiny things like that can sort of give you a bit of hope can't be underestimated. Don't watch the news every night. Don't make yourself miserable. Remember that we're going to get through this, and as they say, the darkest hours are just before dawn. So let's hope that we're going through the darkest times and that there'll be a sunrise and a dawn, just like the resurrection and just like what Jesus brought to us through his resurrection anyway. So lovely to speak with you, and I hope that you find some comfort and some joy and get through this really difficult period. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Hi everyone, my name is Susan and I am a part of these 2 amazing parishes of St. Anthony's and Resurrection. These are difficult times. We are all struggling in our own way. I'd like to share with you some pictures I took while going on my walks. I would never have seen these places if not for the lockdowns. I would have been too busy to spend hours outdoors. It's not been easy. Some days are just not right for me. But let's hang in there, everyone. Let's look forward to the days we get out of our PJs and get our hair done. Stay safe, everyone. God bless.
I dreamed I was walking along the beach with the Lord, and across the sky flashed scenes of my life. For each scene, I noticed two sets of footprints in the sand. One belonged to me, and the other to the Lord. When the last scene of my life flashed before me, I looked back at the footprints in the sand. I noticed that many times along the path of my life, there was only one set of footprints. I also noticed that it happened at the very lowest and saddest times in my life. That really bothered me, and I questioned the Lord about it. Lord, you said that once I decided to follow you, you would walk with me all the way. But I have noticed that during the most troublesome times in my life, there was only one set of footprints. I don't understand why, in times when I needed you the most, you should leave me. The Lord replied, "My precious child, I love you, and I would never, never leave you during your times of trial and suffering. When you saw only one set of footprints, it was when I carried you." Hi, my name's Talia, and I am the Finance Officer at Resurrection Parish in Keysborough. During these hard times, I hope that you know that you are not alone. We are all in this together. It is hard for all of us. We all carry our own burdens in different ways, and no one's burden is greater than the other. I often reflect on that poem, which is called Footprints, and I remember that God is always with us during the good and especially during the bad. I hope you know that we are here for you, and if you need someone to talk to, you need help or advice, that we are only a phone call away. This lockdown is number 6, and it has been very hard for everyone, as I'm sure the previous ones have also been. Please know that you are not alone, and please know that as a community we will get through this together. I hope that the future that you see is bright and holds beautiful moments and memories that we can all share together. I hope that the poem that I read helps you reflect and to remember that God is always with us. May God bless you. May He be present in our everyday lives as we look outside our windows, as we notice the seasons changing. May we see God in every moment. May God bless you and be a light and guide through these times. Thank you and take care.
Hello everyone. It's nice to speak with you again, and I hope you're all staying safe and well and keeping in good spirits during this year's latest lockdown. What an extraordinary year 2021 has turned out to be. I remember saying to Charmaine at the end of 2020, thank goodness that's over and 2021 should be a much better year. Well, it's not quite worked out that way, so now we hope that 2022 will be the better year that we've been waiting for. Lockdowns, border closures, quarantine for overseas arrivals, closure of places of public gathering, including churches, school closures, compulsory wearing of masks in public. Sound familiar? Well, I'm not talking about COVID-19 and 2020 or 2021. This was Melbourne 100 years ago. My parents and probably some of yours lived through that global pandemic called the Spanish flu. That's what it was like for them. Add to that, at that time there was no radio, no TV, and the cinemas were closed, so the newspaper was pretty much their only source of information. I do not live in fear of COVID-19, rather I choose to live in hope. Hope that we are soon through this pandemic, hope that our life starts to return to normal again as we all get vaccinated, and hope that we can soon gather once more as a faith community in our church. Next week I get my second vaccination, which will give me good protection against serious illness, something that certainly wasn't available in the last century. With QR codes and the sophisticated contact tracing, I'm comfortable leaving home to shop for essentials, knowing I'll be contacted if a place I have visited becomes an exposure site. Of course, I take precautions, always wearing my mask, sanitising and keeping well clear of any people without masks or those just using the shops to socialise. I'm a man on a mission. I get in, I get what we need, and I get back home again, hopeful that I will remain safe and well. What else do I do to keep myself hopeful in these times? I've certainly read a lot of books since March last year, and I've also completed about 10 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles. I just finished one yesterday after my day's work for the parish, and I'm ready to start the next one now. Minimising the amount of news I watch helps too. There's very little good news on TV at any time, and watching the COVID coverage can be quite discouraging. In all of this, though, my faith is in a God of hope and compassion, a God who is always with us and watching over us, even if we might sometimes think he's not. My prayer is always for a return to normality, where we can see family and friends and are able to travel once more freely. Each day my hope carries me through that day into the next, ready to face that next day, and my hope is that's how life is for you as well.
Hello everyone, my name's Maria Jones and I'm from St Anthony's Parish. Who would believe after last year when we were giving out our messages of hope that we would be back here again this year doing exactly the same thing? It's hard to believe that in all this time that we've hardly had any more than a few weeks here and there to be able to get out and about and catch up with, our loved ones and family and friends. I think too, after 18 months of lockdown, it's been really, really difficult to feel perhaps hopeful and wondering if there will ever be change. And it's no wonder that we're feeling also often fearful, lonely, frustrated, and maybe angry at times. It's just something that we've never ever experienced before. The constant news bulletins that are often so very negative, hearing always of the rising numbers of infections, it's no wonder that we seem to lose hope. But I do feel that it does seem to be getting a little bit better with people getting vaccinated a lot more, and that lessens the risk of us getting serious illness or ending up in hospital. And it's also really important to look after our mental health, because loneliness and isolation can really have a very bad effect on us. So look, please, if you can't catch up with family, make sure that you do give them a ring. Talk over the fence to your neighbours. Maybe if you haven't caught up with somebody or heard from someone in quite a while, give them a ring. They would really appreciate it. And look, exercise is great for our health. But if you're like me and lost all your motivation to get moving, even sitting outside on a sunny day can do wonders for our mood. And with the approach of summer and warmer days, I think that too gives us hope and certainly lifts our spirits. And gives us a feeling that, look, we will get through this and catch up again with our loved ones and family and friends. If you do feel you need to chat to somebody, please give either of the parish centres a ring, leave your name and phone number, and we'll make sure that we get back to you as quickly as possible. I'd like to finish just with a few wise words from Winnie the Pooh's Christopher Robin. You are braver than you believe. You are stronger than you seem. You are smarter than you think. Take care, everybody, and God bless.
Shepherd and sheep, my God and I, to fresh green fields you led my steps in days gone by. You gave me rest by quiet springs and filled my soul with peace. Your loving presence brings. Oh, shelter me, oh, shelter me. The way ahead is dark and difficult to see. Oh, shelter me, oh, shelter me. All will be well if only you will shelter me.
Hello everyone, my name is Nga from St. Anthony Parish. During the restrictions, I have ranked many parishioners. Some of them are fine, but some of them are very lonely. Some have a lot of anxiety, and some feel they are going too crazy. Some do not want to receive the vaccine as they are so scared. I'm fine. I just have to listen to them and give them hope. Hope is important. Hope that the present moment will less difficult for them to bear tomorrow. I tell them to keep positive and tell them to speak to God and connecting to God for strength, for courage and love. I will keep you all in my daily prayer, and I hope to see you all soon as I miss you.
Hello, my name is Carmel Martin from St. Anthony's Parish in Noble Park, and this is Fred, and he's our pet frog. Sometimes I am so over this COVID-19 and get quite angry sometimes. But you know what? That is okay. Sometimes I get lonely as well because I am not able to see everybody in our parish or our family and our friends. But guess what? That is okay too. We need to look for the future, look for hope. So if you are lonely, pick up that phone and talk to somebody. Or listen to music you love. Or, for me, it might sound a bit strange, but go and cuddle a tree. It will bring you joy and love. Tonight, light a candle. Look at the flame from the candle. I'm sure it will bring you hope and love and positivity that we will get to the other side of this virus and be together as one. Love always, Carmel.
The COVID pandemic, with all its effects, the spread of illness, lockdowns, restrictions, and many limitations on our way of life, makes it easy for us all to feel despondent and perhaps enter the spiral of despair. It might be gradual, so that we do not sense it happening until we lose hope. In some ways, we might feel like the lepers from the gospel stories, isolated, cut off from our community and family, and punished through no fault of our own. In the Gospels, Jesus brought healing. All that was needed was faith and a belief in the love of God. So if you are feeling lost, reach out to someone who can provide support and comfort. Such people are God's angels. And if you can, perhaps you can reach out to someone who might be doing it a bit tougher than you. A phone call, an email, a WhatsApp, Zoom, FaceTime, or even a card or letter. Spread some love yourself, and perhaps you can be an angel to someone in need. Emmanuel, God is still with us.
Hello everyone. It's good to be speaking to you. Even if I can't see you and I can't give you a hug, you'll just have to wait for that later. Father Brian asked the staff to talk about hope, to send a message of hope to all. What is hope? So to find that answer, I spoke to some of my friends and we came up with a group answer, if you like. So hope's a wish, a desire, a promise. Hope is anticipation, waiting for something to happen. And I'm sure we're eagerly hoping for the end of lockdown and the joy that that will bring. But that's not happening at the moment. Some of us are coping quite well. We've put our hats on and we've just gone, yes, that's how we're going to do it. And we seem to be coping very well with the situation. But others are really struggling, especially after the extension of this lockdown. I've seen many people and spoken to many people who just can't find an answer. As they say, they've lost their hope. They're lonely, they're isolated, they don't know how to cope with the children and the schoolwork and doing work and still being the parent that is needed, and so are really struggling in this time. My hope for all of those struggling is you'll ask for help. And we can do that in several ways. We can ring a friend and talk to our friend. And if you want to, say to your friend you're having a bad day. And maybe the next time they'll ring you. We can go for walks. We can read a book. Some people are choosing to say more prayers, and that's fine. For me, I've decided to do a jigsaw puzzle. So I'm doing a 1,500 jigsaw puzzle, which is all over my kitchen table. And that seems to calm me down and give me a little bit of joy. I'm not too sure my family is sharing the same joy. We do what we need to do to be able to smile and get through the end of the day. So whatever you want to do, do it. You are also able to ring the parish. And if we're not there, leave a message and we'll get back to you. I promise. We may not have the answers for you. We may not have a magic formula for you, but we've got a good listening ear and we can share in a conversation. And that's the start often, just not to be so isolated. So I'm hoping all of you can find a little bit of joy at this time. And don't forget, God is with us all, and He's with us all the time. even if we can't make Mass. And I'm sure God's giving us great big hugs because he knows we need it, especially the vulnerable members of our community. So until next year, when I'm sure Father Brian will ask us to do this again, hopefully we won't be in lockdown and I can send you a different message. But my message for you today is to take it easy, travel gently, and reward yourself for little things that you do. Enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the rain if we have to too. And I hope we'll all see each other very soon.
Hello everyone, Vicky here. Today I'm sharing my message of hope. And it's hard to stay hopeful at this time, isn't it? If we watch the news, there's not much that's shared that is cause for hope. Afghanistan, the increasing numbers of people affected by COVID, the usual stories of difficulty and stress, getting this pandemic under control. Not much that's hope-filled. But this week we had a good news story. And that good news story, I think, speaks very much of hope and perseverance. And that story is the story of the little boy who was lost. And it's a good story because it had a good outcome. But when we look at it, we see the anguish, the heartache, the fear, the anxiety, and even despair of the family when they realise their little boy is lost. And then we see coming together the special services, the professional services, the families, the relatives, friends, volunteers, all coming together. And driven by hope, they continued their search for 4 days. And the jubilation when he was found was just fantastic. As a parent and a grandparent, I cannot even imagine what that would have been like for them. And I think today, especially today, because today is classified as Are You OK Day. And that day is a day when we're supposed to make contact with people who perhaps might be struggling, doing it hard. And when we contact them, we're called to be voices of encouragement, of hope, of comfort, of support. And they're all things that lead us to maintain our hope. Are you a voice of hope? Are you a voice of hope for yourself? Are you a voice of hope for your family, your friends? Or are you a voice of despair and anxiety and fear? Is that what you share? We can all share hope. It's challenging, but it's possible. We need to find the things that we hope for and work towards them. I am hopeful that in a very short time we will come together again as a community, sharing our faith, sharing our stories. Our faith reminds us that central themes to our scriptures are hope and healing. And that's what we're looking for now. Hope and healing. So we're all challenged to be that voice of hope and healing in spite of the circumstances we find ourselves in. So Let's hope in a very short time we'll be together again. And until that time, may God bless you all and keep you hopeful. Thanks, everyone.